The reality is, some people only know how to communicate with your ego. They haven't yet identified your God self because they haven't identified the God self within them. So how do you deal with these interactions? How do you stay authentic? Your awareness is all you need. Your conscious awareness is all you need to place yourself in a compassionate position. You know, truthfully, acknowledging the God self is being in access of your abundance, your power, and recognizing that the ego is merely the character, the expression of the God self. So to live from a place of knowing that, you really are just brought into the awareness of how much more we are all accessible, how much we all have the ability to transform, and the more of ourselves that we have yet to meet, you know? And when you're in those moments, when you're having those conversations and you recognize that someone isn't able to identify the God self, you are then in the position to decide to work out what works for you. A lot of the time, you may find that one who cannot acknowledge the God in themselves cannot appreciate you, no matter how good of an intention they have. So you have to leave people with their state of being. You have to be compassionate enough and also loving, loving and unconditional with that love, to accept all things and accept everyone for where they are, and acknowledge that you yourself are an embodiment of the continued growth of the collective. You staying in your truth, standing in your truth, and shining your authentic light is all that is needed. It is requiring of you less than you think. You are providing all of the, you are providing everything you need to by just showing up as you and remaining grounded in your truth, because it's a representation. It becomes a mirror, a reflection of that which is embodied by all of us. You understand that no one has less than you. People have yet to discover more within themselves. So it's love all around, and it just continues to bewilder me at the joy it is to be on your journey. Like, a lot of the things that you might demonize yourself for because of the things that you may feel like you have had to leave behind comes from you acknowledging your awareness of yourself, your acknowledgement of your God self, and recognizing that you are no longer able to connect with certain things. You just can't, because it doesn't have resonance. And if it doesn't have resonance, or it doesn't have the alignment for where you are, then you must just accept it. I'm just loving my crown. This is giving very much like princess crown, like queen crown here. Like, I'm all about the crown, love. Ashe, crown it, because it deserves to be crowned. You understand? So y'all know I can go on. Y'all know I can go round, but I always come round and find things, right? So I just dawned upon that realization that some of these interactions that we may have, or that may show up in our 3D physical experience, may be an interaction with someone who only remembers or knows how to interact with your ego. And the ego that they may remember may not be the ego that you definitely is not the ego that they last interacted with. So they have to meet you all over again. And this is a learning lesson for me too. Like, on this expansive journey, I'm learning how to balance both my God self and my ego, because of the different interactions I'm having in the physical at the moment with different individuals and different people. And it's like holding the two within your awareness is profound in itself, but at the same time wanting to make sure you stay in honor of yourself, staying in honor of your God self, and not succumbing to the ego for the sake of, comfortability. I'm living like fully in my God self and embracing my ego, because the ego gives me the ability to experience this physical thing. So I'm allowing myself to feel safe within myself, no matter where I am. It doesn't matter where I am or what I'm doing. I'm safe within me. I'm within my God self. And the ego is merely what I get the extension of expression through. You feel me? It's a beautiful thing. And I think I'm learning more so now just how much I can relax in reintegrating and communicating and connecting. There's a lot more relax. There's a lot more relax now. I'm grateful for that. So if you find yourself like having a little bit of a challenge when it comes to balancing your God self and your ego, just have compassion for yourself. Set the intention ahead of yourself, knowing that you are providing. You are providing. Your journey and what you're doing and how you're showing up takes courage, and it's providing strength. It is only enlightening and empowering the collective. Okay? It's an expansion that all of us have access to, and to see it is to believe it. Sometimes to see it is to believe it. It is those of us who do the work in the ethereal realm who are able to see within the darkness, to see before it's seen, to see in the unseen, the seers, right? Not everyone has the ability to see, to foresee, and maybe are using the ability to foresee to create things against themselves and don't realize it. That was a message for somebody, and I don't know where it came from. In fact, I do know where it came from, but I'm just understanding and understanding. Some of us are still coming into learning how to use our gifts and figuring this stuff out, and it requires us to be able to die a couple times. We have to allow the old versions of ourselves to die so that we can make space for the truth, because a lot of the times the version of ourselves we're holding on to, it's not who we are, it's who we've learned to be. You feel me? So the conditioning has to fall away. And that is essentially the process of the dying self, the self, because you are the God. You are not the self. The self is the identity that gets created and then experiences everything as itself. You are not the self. You are the believer of the self. You are the creator of the self. So once you start to, fine tune those beliefs to align with your truth, the truth that you are able to create any reality that you want to by accessing it within the feeling, within the thinking, creating, imagination, and then feeling it in the heart space. That's how you access all these different pots, all these different, I want to call them dimensions, but it's deeper than that. It's like fragmentals. It's like there are so many different parables of you, so many different versions of you, so many different versions of what you get to experience. It all exists already. So it's about knowing that you are abundant. What you are experiencing is merely one pocket in the infinite number of pockets of reality, of possibility. So choose your pockets wisely. You feel me? Fill your pockets with the right thoughts. You feel me? It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, I wasn't even planning to go this way with this message, but you know what the tea is. When the tea hits, it hits. Yes. Ashe, ashe. It's always a word.